Now, I really love films about music and songs, the Pitch Perfect trilogy, and I love movie musicals, but this film is really quite different from those. Welcome to another movie reviews video. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina. I make bookish content here on this channel at least twice a week, and then either movie reviews or book to movie content here at the weekend. And today I am going to be bringing you my spoiler-free review of the Eurovision Story Fire Song, which is the new movie on Netflix, came to Netflix on Friday, starring Rachel Mcadams and Will Ferrell, and is based on the Eurovision Song Contest. So this is an interesting one for me because I do have really mixed feelings about it. I like the premise behind it, definitely. I like the idea behind it, and I am a Will Ferrell fan. I am also a Rachel McAdams fan, and I like films that have musical numbers in, which this film definitely does. But then the film is 2 hours long and is also really quite silly. And the film also has an awful lot of really bad racial stereotyping in. So I'm really in two minds with this film. I almost feel like I want to watch it again to form where I land opinion wise. I don't think I would necessarily recommend it to someone, and if this was my regular movie reviews that I did, I wouldn't say yes, spend your cinema ticket money on watching this film at the cinema. But for a Netflix at home release, it's not all bad. Definitely has that sort of movie musical type of quality to it. However, for something that's supposed to be a comedy, I think I laughed once, and that was at some physical sort of slapstick type of comedy. Or no, it was at Graham Norton's reaction to that physical slapstick comedy. So the bit that I laughed at was Graham Norton being Graham Norton, which I can see on the Graham Norton show, or which I can see on him commentating on Eurovision. The racial stereotyping in the film is really bad. It's very much we're Icelandic and therefore we do this and we say this and we live our lives like this and we're fishermen and that's all there is. And a lot of the racial stereotyping about the Icelandic people was quite indicative of Swedish people as well. Will Ferrell's wife was Swedish and that's how he got into Eurovision, but it was really quite mixed up. And then you've got the fact that Will Ferrell, Rachel McAdams and Pierce Brosnan are there pretending to be Icelandic, which was quite jarring to the system to begin with, especially Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan does not do an accent well, and we know that. Ironically, the film does obviously start off with showing a past Eurovision viewing, and it's Pierce Brosnan watching ABBA do Waterloo, and I'm like, no, don't start singing, please, Pierce Brosnan, don't start singing Waterloo, don't do that again, because we know he doesn't do that terribly well. Then we have the fact that the actors, a couple of the actors in this one are dubbed, and very kind of obviously dubbed when they're singing. We could have had someone showcasing their actual singing talents in this one, and I think that was a bit of a miss. Rachel McAdams is good as an actress in this, definitely, and she's funny and she has good chemistry with Will Ferrell, and I like her in movies. But if we could have had someone who was singing their own songs, why didn't we do that? Speaking of the songs, we do have a lot of cameos of past Eurovision contestants in various scenes and sort of group scenes and things like that, which I think is very cool. And then we also have Demi Lovato playing an Icelandic singing sensation, which I really enjoyed. I enjoyed her performance because she was singing in her own voice, even though she was singing with this Icelandic accent. I was okay with that because it was a kind of genuine performance and I did like her. And we have the sort of the added level of weirdness for me. Can you tell I'm just like not landing on a definite like this was good, this wasn't good, because of just there's a lot of things to process. It's 2 hours and 2 minutes long, which is long for a comedy film, or is long for a modern day movie musical. You know, it's not Sound of Music long, but it's still long. Yeah, the fact that they go off to Edinburgh to have this Eurovision Song Contest, but the outside of the building and the inside of the building is obviously the SSE Hydro, which is in Glasgow. So I'm in my head, they're like driving through the streets of Edinburgh that are actually the streets of Edinburgh, and then they turn up and you can see the SSE Hydro in the distance, and I'm like, this view of this street that they're going down right now, this view doesn't exist. It's been put together, and I find that really weird. And even like when Will Ferrell steps out of the SSE Hydro at some point, you can see like the courtyard, the Hilton Garden Inn hotel in the background, which I suppose if you didn't know it was the Hilton Garden Inn, you wouldn't know it, but you can see it because you can see it from the Hilton Garden Inn, and you can see the SSE Hydro from the hotel. Yeah, that kind of distracted me a little bit, that fact. I think if this film had been a little bit more genuine and we'd had people doing their own accents, doing their own singing, and the setting being where the setting actually was, I might have been able to buy into the storyline a little bit more, because it is one of these wonderful underdog stories that you often have with these singing competition type of films, you know, your Pitch Perfect and your like, you know, other things where the underdog is obviously going to have some level of success or is going to come through in some way. So yeah, I liked all the past Eurovision winners. I liked the inclusion of Demi Lovato. The rest of the casting was slightly questionable, and for a film starring a big comedy actor like Will Ferrell, I didn't find it very funny. And in fact, yeah, the only moment that I laughed was a reaction that Graham Norton did to something that happened. I didn't laugh at the thing that happened, I laughed at Graham Norton. I don't know, maybe because I'm coming from it from like a British point of view rather than an American point of view. I grew up with Eurovision, whereas people watching it in this country didn't. I don't know. I think maybe the film was a miss for me. Yeah, it was something. I would really love to know in the comments if you have seen this film. Did you have the same reactions that I did, or am I overanalyzing it too much? Did you just enjoy the singing and the funny moments? I don't know. Let me know. I'd really like to discuss this with you. Yeah, if I was saying as a wrap up at the end here, should you use your cinema money to go and see this? No. Should you stream this at home? If you've got 2 hours to spare, why not? And then come back and talk to me in the comments and let's have a chat about it. I clearly needed to work through some things having just watched this film. I did literally like switch off and come and talk to you and review it here. So there's my final thoughts. As always, if there is a particular movie you would like to hear my thoughts on, right now I am pretty much wide open. I'm working on something else for another commenter for next week's movie reviews video, so make sure you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on that content. I will be back with more bookish content for you in the week, so click that bell so you get notified of that. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, or if you disagreed with me, give it a thumbs down. I'm fine with either. I will be back with more movie content for you next weekend and more bookish content in the week, so I will see you then. Thanks for watching.